Hey everybody, this is a video which is going over statements and variables review. This is actually in for your lesson check to get you guys ready for your lesson check here at 1.1. Statement and variables. Okay, so this is just teaching slides. There's no coding to this. It's just a quick review over each of the concepts in the vocabulary. Sorry about that, my internet just dropped. So here we go. Teaching slides. Let's review for 1.1 statements and variables. Okay, so we got these four concepts. Two of them are actually coding techniques and that you use, or coding symbols that you use. Okay, so string and variable, and the assignment and concatenation. So a string is a series of letters and numbers and symbols surrounded by a double quotation mark. So the format gives you an output. What you want to make sure is that when you're doing print, you want to make sure you put parentheses, and then within that parentheses, you're going to put the quotation marks and whatever you want. Okay. Also, you want to make sure you can also do that with input. So when you put input and have a user put anything, you put quotation within the parentheses, the quotation marks, and whatever you want it to say. And then the same thing is when you want to make sure is that when you put input and command, you want to make sure you provide a space in between after, so that when they put their whatever the user puts into there, that it's not right next to what you wrote down in the input or in the string. Okay, so let's move on next. Okay, so these are examples of strings. Hello, 1 2 3 4, and whatever. So as a bunch of symbols, as long as they're in quotation marks, they are considered a string. Okay, a variable is a storage container for information, very much just like out in algebra. Okay, think of it as a jar. It can store information, even unknown information like inputs and responses. Okay, when we want to use the stored data, just say the name of the variable, and we can use it for in another part of our code. Okay, so for example, username would be an example of a variable. Okay, so when we make a variable, we get to make it up its name. However, we can't use spaces. So if we do want to put a space between a two-word variable, whatever we decide, we need to be using at least an underscore as for it. You can't use a dash because a dash represents the minus sign. So we need to make sure you are pick and choose, either put username all together or you put an underscore, which is putting shift and then the minus sign, which makes it lower. Okay, and let's move on next. Assignment is a process of storing information in a variable, and that is really the equal sign. Okay, so when we have a variable here, this is our assignment, and we're telling the variable it represents the string Sarah. Okay, so we can't swap left and right side around for the symbol. So unlike a algebra equation, you can go both ways. But for computers, they lead from left to right, from up and down. So that's the thing we need to make sure you understand. So we can only write it this way. We can't write Sarah equals username. Okay. Okay, concatenation is join two strings together with the plus symbol. Okay. So it's just kind of like symbol, same thing as adding. You're just adding something to it. So let's look at some examples. Hello plus the variable username plus period. Okay. So these concatenations, okay, just join all of this together. And if we were to put print, it would just print out all of this and whatever username was, and that's together as a sentence. Okay, so for example, if we were to use Bob, it would say hello Bob with the period at the end, just like here. Okay, so that's it for the review, and then when you take the quiz, good luck on the quiz, but this will help you out and get you ready for that quiz.